Yo, welcome to Crate 808 and another sneak peek into what's happening on our Patreon with our Wu-Tang Chronicles, where we go through every solo Wu project, and we're on the Ghostface Killah tip, and today it is Fishscale and More Fish from 2006, a very divisive project, but one that we are going to dig into with writer and producer Sunraw. So if you enjoy this little clip, go to patreon.com/Crate808, sign up there, support the pod. It helps us grow, helps us do more content like this, and we can get through all the woo, and then start on something new like Griselda or something. Let's go. But yes, hope you enjoy this, and yeah, we should catch you on the flip side. Boom. One thing we like to do with this Wu series is, I'm not sure if you remember the Wu-Tang name generator. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I do.
Did you ever use it?
I did. I don't remember what mine came out because I don't remember what name I even put in. If it was in my full name, but it was something like Master Assassin or something like that.
Well, I've got a little treat for you, Sunraw. Anyone who comes on for these Wu Chronicles, I take it upon myself to Wu-Tang generate your name, right? So, I don't know if you remember, there's an official one and an unofficial one. The unofficial one is that Childish Gambino myth to it, you know? So I've got you two names here. With these, you can do whatever you want. You can get t-shirts made up, you can get tattoos if you want, or you can just leave them be. But this is what you got, right? The unofficial name for yourself, Sunraw. Vulgar Dominator.
I think a lot of people would agree with that one.
That's worrying.
Certainly my high school teacher would be like, yeah, that checks out.
Yeah, that checks.
From right around when I discovered Wu-Tang, I'm guessing, like something like that. They'd be like, yeah, that sounds right.
That sounds about right. Okay, so this is a side to you I'm looking forward to getting into a little bit, the Vulgar Dominator. This one, I thought, has so many levels to it. The official name for yourself is Tiger Fist Sarcastic. Now...
All right.
Like
sarcastic, but definitely lines up. I can't say that I'm great with the tiger fist. I'm a like Ghostface. I'm a lover, not a fighter. But we'll see.
Okay, I was thinking TFS. It kind of works that way. You could do, I don't know, if you wanted it, it's there for you, mate, and you can do whatever you want with it. But there's the Wu-Tang name generator. I love that, and I love that someone still got it running. It's still running after all these years. Amazing.
If I'm being honest, Fishscale has unique moments, and that draws me back. The Dilla you mentioned, the Doom beats. That is
the Lewis Parker beat.
Sorry?
I say the Lewis Parker beat is Shaky Dog. Yeah. Shaky Dog gets me back. And I know people do love that song, but good Lord, it's so above and beyond. Like, that could be on another album he's done and it would just be that good. Like, it's just incredible. But yeah.
When I re-listened to it yesterday before this podcast, it actually got me really hyped up. And I'm like, oh, maybe this record is just a lot better than I remember. And then you're like, okay, no, it's really an up and down kind of experience.
Yeah, actually, because it is the second track. So I remember that at the time, hearing it and going, holy fuck, is this how we're starting? There are moments on this that is literary genius, like literary greats would look at that and go, oh, that's really interesting use of... And I know it's very easy set as hip-hop heads, but I want someone to differ with me, argue this point, because the details of a story, as most of us know, a great story is told with great details. And Shaky Dog, right, when I'm listening back to that, and you think we live in this world where we know Ghost eats fish and chips, which I never knew. So he eats fish and chips. He's smoking baseball spliffs. That imagery, bang, I'm in. And then he's wearing S-dots with tartar sauce on them. All these little moments are uses of the English language that are so rewarding listening to them now, that these details, I forgot that there's just one line in there where he says, backseat with my leg all stiff. I'd forgotten, oh yeah, he's eating these fish and chips in the backseat cramped of a car. And those are moments that when you reread a book, you go, oh yeah, I forgot that he'd done this in Catcher in the Rye or whatever, So this is my level for Ghost appreciation in that song. And telling you, this is what Alaska Atom said in the last episode we did. He said, Ghost is a real genius at telling you about someone by telling you about what they've done, like their actual actions. I thought that is a really good way. And there's a perfect moment in Shaky Dog when he talks about, like, this is the real marrow, this is the real moments of enjoyment where you can like suck the marrow out of the bars, because he says he sees a lady with a shopping cart. She keeps a shotty clocked in the hallway. She looks pretty old, Ghost, so he's talking like second person. Then it's, she worked for Kevin. She was about 77. She paid her dues when she smoked his brother-in-law at his boss's wedding. Right? That's the hardest 77-year-old I know.
Going back to what you were saying about kind of it being a literary moment, I'm going to shout out Jeff Weiss from Passion of the Weiss, where he wrote the review for Supreme Clientele on Pitchfork, which is not a site I endorse at all, but go read just that one and then leave the site. And he compared him to James Joyce. And I was like, that's really accurate in the sense that, I mean, not that I've managed to read James Joyce and make my way through the really difficult ones, but if you read extracts, you can see what he's saying, even though the words don't necessarily mean anything, but it gets the emotion, it gets the idea in your head of what it means. And Ghost is really good at like switching between moments where he's calling someone an onion head and you're like, what the hell is an onion head? And then telling you just something like, yeah, I'm eating fish and chips and like sauce got on my kicks and something like that. And he can like almost effortlessly shift between those two modes, at least at that time. And he's kind of aware that that's something that people want. I actually think that's probably why Supreme Clientele 2 is never coming out, or has taken so long to come out, because it must be really hard to get back to that state when it's not just a natural expression for it. The highlight for me, probably my favorite track, I mean, there's two. There's Underwater, which is,
let's go.
Like when you were mentioning Shaky Dog, like I always say, like the brilliance of that album is you start in a cab with Ghost and you end up underwater, like on an aquatic adventure, and it still makes sense. Like, who can carry you from point A to point B? And kind of the midway point to that, which is, it had me really hyped for another Ghost and Ray tape, is Ragu, which I believe that's Pete Rock point. That's like one of my all-time favorite Pete Rock beats. There's a lot of brilliant Pete Rock beats. But like I listen to Ragu and I just think, yeah, that's where Griselda got their whole thing. Like, yes. I mean, obviously there's a ton of Ghostface Killah DNA pause in West Side Gun's whole style and what he did for them. But Ragu in particular, it's like that. It's just a loop. It's like kind of muted, but it's got like this like melancholy to it, and you're telling the crime stories on it. I was like, oh, we need another album with these two, and it didn't happen.
I know.
A little bit. I mean, we had the Wu Massacre album, but at that point things were a little shaky.
So there you go. Sun Ra, absolutely smashing it. What a great chat that was. We went into everything, didn't we? But yeah, so hit us up in the comments of this album, what you think to it, and we should shout you out on the show if they're any good. And crate808@gmail.com for any other questions or queries, and patreon.com/crate808. Sign up, support the show, tell your mum, tell your dad, tell your brother, tell your sister, and let's get this growing, this community geeking out even more, and we shall catch you soon. Boom.